Good morning.
Morning. I'm back.
He's back. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Okay,
Yeah.
your usual spot, I see.
Yeah. My neck is still a little weird, but it's not like acute anymore. So I'm hoping
Okay.
moving it will feel better.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, so we'll take it easy on the neck and we'll see if we can start with some like just gentle neck stretches and movements. And like always, just move at your own pace. And if anything feels weird or funky, just let me know, okay?
Will do.
All right. Today, I'm going to actually practice with you and I'm going to put the camera on me. But like I said, if at any point I'm going to be staring at the computer. So if you need any help or anything, just let me know, okay?
Okay.
All right, so let's go ahead and first let me switch cameras. Do-do-do. Okay, so let's start today. I'm into standing on the mat, actually. Standing on the mat, and then you can bring feet, starting today, hip width distance apart, palms open. Take a breath in as you gaze up.
You're kind of hard to hear.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me know. So, uh, okay. Check, check, check.
That's
Audio.
better.
2,
Yeah.
3. Is
Yeah.
that way better?
Yeah.
Okay, rad. All right, so let's try that again. Standing at the top of your mat, feet hip width distance apart, palms out. And just take a moment to close your eyes and just notice your body, what it feels like to stand on a Tuesday morning. Finding our Ujjayi pranayam, lips sealed in through the nose, breathing all the way down to the soles of your feet. And with the breath out, just a gentle bend through the knees and imagine the air coming out through your feet. So we're creating this cycle and visualizing this cycle. Breathing in, coming from the top of the head, the nose, filling all the way down. And with the exhale, just visualizing that air leaving through the roots, the soles of your feet, down to the earth. And now we add a little bit of movement in the neck. The whole body stays still. Fingertips pressing heavily down towards the ground as you inhale, chin up, gaze up. Exhale, chin down, gaze down. Starting very gently and moving breath to movement. So inhale, you gaze up. Exhale, send the gaze down. 2 more times. Breath in. And breath out. Tongue to the roof of the mouth for today's class as you inhale once again. Chin up, gaze up. Hold here. And then slowly find your own breath as you bring right ear to right shoulder. Hold. Press your left shoulder down. Again, imagine there's weights tied to your fingers and they're pressing down as you hold there. And then slowly chin to chest. Left ear, left shoulder. Hold. Taking at least one breath here. And then we go all the way back and around. Now you can make these circles as fast or as slow as possible. I would recommend going slow and pause with your ear to the shoulder. And after maybe 1 or 2 more rotations, we go in the opposite direction. To the right, gaze up. To the left, and down. And it's very subtle, right? As we bring right shoulder to right ear, I'm pressing fingertips down. And just that alone is already going to give you a lot of sensation. We breathe with that sensation. Great job. Now back to center. Big toes together. Facing the front of your mat. Inhale, gaze up, arms up. Hands to prayer overhead. Exhale, open arm twist. Right arm back, left arm forward. making sure that right hip is gliding forward as you send your gaze towards your right thumb. Now, at any point, if any of this feels too painful or uncomfortable, you can always dial it back, right? So we're doing the best that we can, holding the position and finding a steady breath for you. Next breath in, we come back to center, right arm meets the left. And with the next breath out, you switch sides, gaze towards your left thumb. Breathe. Inhale back to center, right arm meets the left, gaze up. Exhale, Anuvitasana, back bend, cactus your arms, fingertips back, gaze back. Inhale to center, gaze forward. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. First forward fold of our day. We fold, hinge from your hips. Gaze in between your legs. Let the back of your neck relax as you bend your arms and shift your weight forward 2 inches. Now we're just going to hold this position and breathe a few times. One more time, breath in. One more time, breath out. Inhale as you rise, halfway lift, hands above the knees. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, shift 2 inches forward. Strong connection to the belly. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, high to low push-up. The first one, we can do this on our knees. Elbows pointed back as you lower down. Now inhale, upward facing dog. Press the feet onto the ground, lift your knees, lift your gaze. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now settle into this downward dog. We'll be here for 5 breaths. And here you can shake your head yes. You can shake your head no. With every breath in, continue to send the breath all the way to the hips, to the base of your spine. And through the nose, exhale as you slowly bring your belly button in towards your spine. Soft bend through the elbows. This is our Sun A. We're going to flow through that 2 more times. I'll guide you through the second one. And on the third one, you'll flow on your own. So let's get started again. Breath in, heels high, gaze forward. Exhale, walk or hop to the top of your mat. Slow and with control, inhale, halfway lift first. Strong connection to the belly to find length through the spine, waking up the low back and your core. Exhale, fold. Soft bend through your knees, chin to chest. Inhale, you rise, extended Tadasana. Gaze up. Exhale, hands to prayer by your heart, or Samastitihi with the hands by the sides. Yogi's choice. Take a moment to arrive again, remembering that we're literally saluting the sun, giving thanks to the sun for another day of life, another day of light, warmth. Inhale, extended Tadasana, arms overhead. Exhale, open arm twist to the right. Inhale brings you back to center, gaze forward. Exhale, you switch sides. Try it again. Gaze back. Inhale, gaze forward, arms up. Exhale, one more time. Inhale, cactus the arms or gaze up. Exhale, cactus the arms, reach back. Inhale, mountain pose, extended Tadasana, arms overhead. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Hinge from your hips, lower down. You can pedal out the feet, bend one knee, then the other. Welcome, Angel, good to see you.
Hello, sorry to be late.
In our forward fold is where we are right now. You can pedal out the feet, bend one knee, then the other. Inhale as you rise halfway. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, high to low push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And now, yogis, we're going to hold this downward dog again, just for a few breaths, maybe 5 breaths or so. Keep going. Putting the spotlight on Kaylee. And Angel here, bend, slight bend through your elbows. Slight, yeah. Slight bend there. Notice all the muscles in the shoulders working now. Bring your chest towards your thighs, soft bend through your knees. Lift your hips. There we go. One more breath in. One more breath out. Okay, inhale, heels high, gaze forward. Exhale, travel to the top of your space, forward fold. Inhale, you rise halfway, straight spine. Squeeze the shoulder blades back. Find that inner belly engagement. Hands above the knees. Exhale, folds, Uttanasana. Little bend through the knees, chin to chest, rolling one vertebra at a time. With the breath in, you rise all the way up to standing. Arms overhead, gaze up. Big, big good morning stretch. Exhale, hands to prayer by your heart. All right, y'all. So now we're going to go through that one last time. I'm going to guide you through it since Angel is joining us now. Breath in, arms overhead, gaze up. Exhale, open arm twist to the right. Right arm back, left arm forward. Keep sending your right hip forward as you gaze back. Inhale, center, gaze forward. Exhale, switch sides. Gaze back. Left hip forward this time. Inhale, center. Right arm meets the left. Exhale, Anuvitasana, back bend, cactus your arms. Squeeze your glutes as you send your hips forward. Go a little bit further this time if you can. Inhale, back to center you go. Exhale, hinge from your hips, forward folds. Iker bend through the knees as you fold. Great job. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Padahastasana, hands to feet pose. Lift the soles of your feet. Slide the palms of your hands underneath your foot. Good job. Now from there, you're going to shift the weight forward towards your toes. And the palms of the hands are so far underneath the feet that you should be able to touch your wrist with your big toe. That's how far we're sliding the hands in there. If you need to bend your knees to make this happen, you can. Keep shifting the weight forward. Stack your hips over your heels. Maybe you bend your arms to find a little more depth in this pose. Send the weight towards your feet. Relax your head again. Shake it yes and no. And take a breath into your neck, to the back of your neck. Exhale all the air out of your body from here. More than you think you can, more than you think you should. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Beautiful. All right, gang. Release the hands. Inhale as you rise halfway, straight spine. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, high to low push-up, hands to the ground, step or hop back. Elbows glued by your sides. You're pressing your ribs with your elbows as you lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Lift the chest, lift the knees, lift the gaze. Exhale, downward facing dog with control. Engage your core, set the hips back, pedal it out. And let's settle into this shape. Now for today's class, I'm going to teach some of the postures that we're going to do on our Sunday sadhana, our Ashtanga 1-year series that we're beginning next Sunday. So some of these postures are going to be the exact same ones that we'll do on Sundays. I'm going to teach them more in the vinyasa style, the way we're practicing now. But just to introduce you to what's coming up in the very near future. So let's give that a shot. Take an inhale, heels high, gaze forward. Exhale, travel to the top of your space, forward folds. Inhale as you rise, halfway lift. Exhale as you fold, hinge from your hips. Inhale, extended Tadasana, arms overhead. Let the gaze follow the thumbs. Exhale, Samasthiti. Release the hands by your sides. Now, you're going to step your feet about hip width distance apart. And from there, step your left foot back for a warrior one position. So that means heel to heel alignment. Bend your front knee. Square your hips to the front of the room. Bend your right knee and lift your arm up towards the sky. Hands can come together at prayer. If that's too much for the shoulders, you can keep the hands wide. If the hands are at prayer, then bend the elbows slightly and point them forward as you recommit to the bend on the front leg. Sink deep into this pose. Nice. And as you hold this position, yogis, we're breathing, right? Taking about 5 breaths here. Slow and steady through the nose. And I want you to focus on anchoring down through your right and left foot, making sure that you're pressing from the knife edge of that back foot. Take another breath in. Go deeper on the breath out. Okay. Big breath in, gaze up. Exhale, tee out your arms, extend your legs. So extend both legs like a triangle. And now we're going to switch sides to the back of the room. So you're going to bring your back foot parallel or slightly at a 45. Back foot is pointed towards the back of your mat, exactly, Kaylee. Now, before we transition into the warrior one position, look at your heels and make sure that you have your heel to heel alignment. If you don't, if that's difficult, then you can go a little bit wider, yes? From there, palms of the hands together overhead, gaze up, bend through your left leg and settle into this shape. 5 long breaths. A breath is an inhale and an exhale. That's one breath. And as you do this, you're focusing on rooting down through the back foot just as much as you're rooting down through your left. One more breath in. One more breath out. Inhale, slowly extend your back leg. Tee out your arms, come to the side of your mat. And on the exhale, step back to Samasthiti at the top of your mat. So rotate the feet, bring your big toes together, heels together. Okay, beautiful. Now, listen for the change. Step the feet about hip width distance apart. Step your left foot again, all the way back. This time, legs are extended. Tee out the arms. Back foot is parallel to the back of the mat or at a slight angle. Back heel is down. Tee out your arms, one arm towards the front of your mat, one arm towards the back. So shoulders are squared with the hips. Yes. Recommit to a slight bend on the front knee as you inhale, reach forward. Exhale, right hand down to the outside of your right foot. Now you can come onto a block, you can come onto fingertips. As you do this, I want you to imagine twisting your heart up towards the sky. And same thing, the focus here is the micro bend in the knees, making sure we're not locking out the body, and twisting the heart up. Now I want you to imagine like I'm in the room with you, and I'm grabbing your wrist, and I'm pulling your wrist up towards the ceiling. And imagine gentle pressure on the back between your shoulder blades, pressing forward and up, so that you're creating a slight twist as you gaze up towards the thumb. And of course, Kaylee, if you need to, you can look down if this is too much for your neck, but just breathe if that's okay. Cool. One more breath in. One more breath out. So inhale, you come out the same way you came in. Press through the big toe of the right foot as you inhale, shoulders stacked over the hips. Exhale, you switch sides. So now we're going to the back of the mat. Back foot or front foot becomes our back foot. Yes. Tee out to arms, left arm to the back of the mat, right arm to the front. Good job. So find your position. Soft micro bend, so tiny that I can't see it, but you can feel it. Inhale as you reach, reach, reach. Left arm all the way back. Exhale, you find Left hand to the outside of the left foot. So, Angel, making sure that you're in the opposite foot on the back of your mat. Okay, and we're breathing here. And again, if you have blocks at home and you need to support yourself, please do so. Just take a few more breaths. Always be mindful of the spaces that feel more accessible than others, right? So one side's usually a little bit tighter than the other. So at home, you would just spend a little bit more time in that space. Take another breath in, another breath out. And now coming out of the pose, press through the big toe of your back foot. Inhale as you rise. Stand, shoulders stacked over your hips. Gaze towards the front of your mat and then step back, coming to Samasthiti. Hands by your sides, big toes together. Bring all the way back. Hands down. Beautiful. Now notice that as you hold these positions, there's energy that's moving through your body. You might feel a tingling sensation in certain parts. Taking a deep breath in with the lips sealed. And a deep breath out. So now we do that once again, stepping left foot slightly to the outside. And then all the way back, find your warrior one position. Arms overhead. And now from there, bring your hands to prayer by your heart. Take an inhale as you shift forward. Press your back foot down as you reach your heart forward. Exhale, prayer twist. Left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Recommit to the bend on that front knee. Bend more than you think you should, slightly. Yes. Now from there, send the gaze up towards the ceiling. Now, traditionally, this pose is done with the arms extended, with left arm down on the outside of the right foot and right arm up towards the sky. If that's not accessible to you today, then stay with the hands of prayer. And just breathe here. Length. Steady, steady breath. The slower you exhale, the easier it gets. Great job. Now with your next breath in, you slowly rise. And with your breath out, let's go to the back of the mat this time, setting yourself up. Warrior one in the back of your mat. So now your left foot is leading the way. Bend through the front knee. Find that warrior one position. Hips and shoulders square to the front of the room as you press your back heel down. Sometimes it helps to have that back foot at a slight angle, 45. And then from there, exhale, prayer twist to the left. Right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Now notice the sides where we feel wobbly, where you feel shaky, the places that feel a little bit more accessible or not. And on your own, at home, if you're watching this, consider spending an extra couple of breaths on the side that feels a little bit tighter. We tend to do the opposite. We tend to lean into the things that are easy or comfortable. So we'll spend more time without knowing on the side that feels more accessible. So when you find yourself struggling left or right side, then just stay there for a little bit longer. And when the mind wanders, we come back to the breath. Back to a slow inhale. Back to a slow exhale. Okay, with your next breath in, slowly rise. Find your star pose, heels in, toes out, take up space. On the exhale, parallel the feet, parallel your arms, wide-legged forward fold. Hinge from your hips, lower it down. Again, micro bend through the knees as you shift forward. Bend through the elbows, keep the hands down and find some freedom here. Maybe it's another left and right with the head, shaking a yes and no, or maybe little circles with the crown of your head on the ground. We take a few breaths here. Now we're going to explore different variations of this posture, and we do the same thing in our primary series. All right, yogis, inhale, you rise halfway, engage your core. Hold here. Hands to your hips, soft bend through the knees, and on your exhale, come all the way up, standing. Shift your hips forward. Nice, good job. Now, once again, breath in, tee out your arms, gaze up. Release your hands to your low back, interlace your fingers. Take another breath in as you lift your heart, lift the chin, open your throat. Exhale, wide-legged forward fold with our bind. Hinge from your hips as you lower down. Hands away from your low back, crown of your head melts towards the ground as you shift your hips forward. Hips over the heels, yeah. We want the palms of the hands together if we can. And if that's not happening today, then do the best you can. Maybe at home you can grab a towel if this is a little too much. Just breathe into this big opening for your shoulders, for your spine. Now, if you feel that you're capable of doing this, you can slowly come out of the pose with your hands in your bind, or you can release your bind first and then rise halfway and then all the way through with the exhale. Great job. Tee out the arms, gaze up, breath in. Exhale, wide-legged forward fold. Once again, this time, peace fingers go to the big toes. Peace fingers to the big toes, or we can bring hands to the outsides of the feet. Yogi's choice. Use your arms, bend your arms to counteract the big shoulder opener that we just did, and also to find depth in this posture now that we've done it for a few breaths. Your hips and your spine should be opening into this shape. Continue to shift the weight forward and breathe. Now, yogis, for this month, I'll be taking over the Monday through Friday asana classes. And I won't be playing any music. So at home, if you have a playlist, if there's something that you like to play in the background, just know that you're always open to do so. But these classes will generally have no music. It's also something powerful about sitting with our breath and cleansing the mind before we just hit it with all the stimuli first thing in the morning. Okay, inhale as you rise halfway. Hands to your hips, strong core engagement here. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Exhale, little bend through the knees as you press all the way up. Send your hips forward. Beautiful. Now, from here, inhale, find your warrior one once again. Back foot at a slightly more angle forward. Yeah. Release your hands this time to your low back, Kaylee and Angel. And then bring your fingertips together and try to find your prayer, hands to prayer behind your back. Not forcing it, just noticing the edges of the body. Keep both legs extended as you inhale, chin up, gaze up. Exhale, hinge from your hips and fold into this shape. Nice. Now the elbows, imagine your elbows pressing up towards the ceiling. So flare them out a little bit more. And again, not forcing it, just breathing here. Slow breaths. In and out through the nose. Pressing through the big toe on your right foot. Inhale as you rise. Keep the hands as they are. And on your exhale, transition to the back of your mat. Facing the back of your mat. Toes pointed towards the back. Right foot at a slight angle. Breath in as you lift the heart, square the hips. Exhale, hinge from your hips. Melt your forehead down. And breathe into that shape. Plug your left hip back, right hip forward. Continue to breathe into the sensation as you gently glide your elbows up towards the ceiling. Not forcing it. Just breathing into the sensations as they arise. Inhale, slowly rise. And on the exhale, Samasthiti at the top of your mat. Exhale, slowly transition to the front, release the hands. Inhale, arms overhead, gaze up. Exhale, chair pose, Utkatasana, sit into your chair. Bend your knees. Breathe here. Hold. Lips are sealed, breathing in and out through the nose. Find your drishti, ideally something in your horizon or maybe even higher. Take a breath in, hands to prayer. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Hinge from your hips. Melt your forehead down. Release. Now here, yogis, you can grab for opposite elbows. Just let yourself melt. Allow this to feel like a restful posture. Yeah. Can gently sway from one side to the other. Brilliant. Hands down to the ground as you inhale, rise halfway, lift your head. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, high to low push-up. Step or hop back. Elbows glued by the sides as you lower down. Inhale as you rise halfway. Lift the heart, lift the knees, lift the gaze. Hold here and stick your tongue out and reach your tongue towards your nose. Tongue up towards the nose. Yeah. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right. Pedal at the feet. Shake your head yes and no. All right, yogis. Inhale, heels high. Exhale, heels down to the right and hold. Breathe into that. Press equally through your left and right foot as you lift your hips as high as you can while pressing your heels down. So big, big stretch there for most of us. Can we take one more breath in? One more breath out. Inhale, heels high. Exhale, switch sides. All the way down to the left. Press through both hands. Hips up towards the ceiling. Micro bend through the elbows. Elbows pointed slightly down. Notice how much is happening in the body in this shape. Very important stretch. If you spend a lot of time seated, driving, just in general, so important. If you feel a lot of sensation here, then this is your sign to do this more often throughout your day. One more breath in. And one more breath out. Inhale, heels high, gaze forward. And on the exhale, let's come into our forearm plank. Come onto your forearms. Press your elbows down, slight rounding of the back as you press your heels forward. So getting really deep serratus anterior engagement here. Connecting to that slow breath. Learning how to meditate in these positions. Shift the weight forward, keep reaching forward. Find that core engagement. For 3, for 2, and 1, release. Have a seat, yogis. Okay. So, take a little rest if you need to. You can sip some water. First water break of our class. Almost 40 minutes in. Congratulations. Very gentle with the water, not too much. We're going to move into core next. And in solidarity, I'm going to do it with y'all right now. So, find yourself in a seat. And we're going to start today by bringing hands to the back of the knees. Find your Navasana boat pose. Lift the feet. This is layer 1, holding onto your legs for a little bit of support. Lean back. For layer 2, we bring hands to prayer and gaze up. And lean back and hold. Looking up towards the ceiling. Hold for 3. Hold for 2. And 1. Hands to prayer, hold this position. And then we bring fingertips to the right, center, and left. Center, right, and left. Now, keep going, and you're tapping your fingers on each side, making sure that you actually touch left and right, left and right. The more you lean back, the more challenging it gets, and the more you sit up, the easier. 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, and done. Lower it down. Fine. Big good morning stretch. Extend the legs. Take up space on the ground as you hold this position. Breathe into these sensations, everything that comes up. Okay, now gently we bring hands by the sides. Bend your knees and find your knees tucked in towards your belly. Yeah. Now today, yogis, we're going to focus on keeping our low back grounded the whole time. So notice if your low back is arching right now, really press your low back. Find that deep connection with the ground. Point the toes up. Now, the work here is in maintaining this low back connection the entire time. You're going to extend your right leg forward, or for me, left leg right now. And you're just going to lift that leg up and down. Up and down. And again, the work is in keeping low back engaged onto the floor. Just pressing your low back is going to engage the muscles in your belly. Keep going. Lift, lower, lift and lower. Now you switch sides. And we go with the right leg. Find a pace that works for you. The slower you go, the more work, the more value you're getting out of each rep. 3, 2, and 1. Great job. Now switch sides. Listen for the change. Right knee is bent, left leg is extended. We lift up. Hands come to the back of your knee and walk your hands up towards your calf. Hold here. This is layer 1. For layer 2, you extend your right leg and hold. Toes pointed back. Shoulders off of the ground. Hold. 3, 2, and 1. Right away, switch sides. Left knee is bent, right leg is extended. We start the same way we did on the opposite side. Walk the hands up your leg. Once you find that connection, shoulders off of the ground, low back is still engaged. Now you extend left leg forward and hold. Keep lifting your chest towards your knee. Keep pointing your toes back. We're there. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Beautiful work. Great job, everyone. Big good morning stretch. Arms overhead. Toes pointed forward. Reach in opposite directions. Okay. Now, this is something I've been working on that has made a huge difference for my hips, my overall stability. So we're going to try it together. Left elbow comes down to the ground. Hands by the hips, almost like you're setting yourself up for a side plank. But instead of the legs extended, I want you to have your legs bent. And what we're going to do is you're going to lift your hips and lift your right knee off of your left knee. Now we're going to tie both of those movements together. We lower, knees together, hips to the ground. Exhale, lift. Lower and lift. Keep going. So this is like that machine at the gym, right? Where we open the legs and we feel that on the outer hips. It's a similar process. Press and lower. Press and lower. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. Extend your leg. Hold. 3, 2, and 1. Release. Great job. Now we come on to the opposite side. You can turn around or you can just go to the back of your mat like I just did. Right elbow comes down to the ground. Knees are bent. Yeah? Find the position and then you lift, hold it, feel the activation, and then you lower and lift. You want to maintain some tension on that right side. And here we're working our glutes. You're working your muscles on the outside of your leg. Your core is having to engage to keep your body stable. Inner and outer hips, there's so much that's being worked here. Okay, you're there. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it and extend. Kick your left leg out. Hold. 3, 2, and 1. Release. Woo. I feel that every time. So let's come to our seat. Feet, hands behind the hips, windshield wiper the legs, side to side. So big emphasis on our hips for today's class. Butterfly pose, soles of the feet together, knees out wide. And then we're just bouncing the knees for a moment. So we took care of our outer hips, now focusing more internally. Notice the tendency to round here. Can we sit up tall, straight, shoulders back, chest forward? Once you find length through the spine, keeping a straight back, chin slightly towards the throat as you exhale, hinge forward. Hands interlace towards the fingers. Deep belly breath in. Deep belly breath out. 5 breaths in this shape. Slowly rise. Extend your legs. Find this legs out wide position, toes pointed back. Take a breath in. And on the exhale, we fold into that shape. Now you can begin to bring your hands, arms underneath your knees. So slide the arms down and bring your forehead down. If this is a little bit too much, then hands in front of you is totally okay. Also, a great opportunity to use our props, blocks, pillows, whatever you have to make this more accessible. And if you feel open to it, you can begin to play by bringing your hands underneath your legs. And we're doing 5 breaths here. Slight bend through the knees, point the toes back to protect your knees. Slowly rise, coming out of the shape. Bring your right foot to the inside of your left leg. Once you find that, slide left hand down your left leg. Now you're going to take your left hand and bring it to the inside of your left foot. Now from there, yogis, reach right arm up towards the sky, breath in. And on the exhale, you're opening. So rather than folding forward towards the leg, we're opening to the side. And then eventually, right hand holds onto the outside of the left foot. And then your right hand is twisting your body up. Chest up towards the sky. And once we're there, we just breathe. Now slowly coming out the same way you came in, right arm up, slide out. And then you switch sides. Right leg extend. Left foot comes to the inside of your right leg. Right hand slides all the way down to the inside of your right foot. Left arm up towards the ceiling, gaze up, breath in. Makes it open on this side. Now again, if holding on to the outside of your right foot with your left hand is not happening today, it's okay. You can be here, you can be here, wherever you are. It's exactly where you're supposed to be. I like to press my elbow on the inside of my right leg here to just facilitate that twist. And then you breathe. Okay. Slowly come out of the shape. Now from here, we move onto half pigeon on the front of your mat. So sliding into that pigeon, shin parallel to the front of the mat, left knee to the outside of the left foot. Drag your right knee right behind the rest of your body. Once you're there, yogis, look over your left shoulder towards your right foot. You should be able to see your right foot. Straight line all the way back. Take a breath in. And here you have a few options. You can lower it down and find your sleeping pigeon. Today, I'm going to experiment by staying upright. And instead, I'm going to bring my fingertips towards my shin, the back of my wrist forward. And just feel this stretch from a different angle and open my wrist in the process. If you're taking that variation, press your fingertips onto the ground and just notice your forearms and your wrist opening up. And then we breathe. You can modify this however you need to make this more comfortable, more accessible. Your hands, you can melt. You can bring a pillow underneath your left hip. For a little more sensation, you can tuck your toe and slide your right knee a little bit further back. Maybe you begin to close the eyes and just breathe into the sensations that come up. Okay, yogis, if you haven't already, use your arms to begin to rise. Come into this tall position. And then from your seat, we're going to transition into the back of the mat. Now, before you come into your half pigeon on the back, lift your left leg off of the ground and just make little kicks. Extend and bend, circles with your ankle, just a little bit of movement that feels good. And then we find our half pigeon on the back side of the mat. Find your alignment, look over your right shoulder this time towards your left foot. And then once everything's kosher, then we find whatever position you took on the opposite side. Right now, bringing the back of my wrist onto the ground, opening the eye of my elbow forward and just breathing there. This might be a lot for your wrists, for your body, so check yourself. You can just come into your sleeping pigeon. You can just come onto your fingertips or your hands or your fist, if that feels better. Listen to your body, listen to what you need. Okay. And we slowly begin to come out of the shape. Towards your seat. And now from there, we windshield wiper the legs side to side. Okay. Laying down onto your mat, hug your knees in. And actually, before we do this, Paschimottanasana. Legs are extended, breath in, arms up. Exhale, forward folds. Hinge from your hips, lower down. Chin to chest. Soft bend through your knees, look towards your toes today. Deep breath in as you find length through your spine. And breath out as you bend through the arms. And slowly release. Come to a seat at the top of your mat. Lower all the way down. And from there, we rock and roll left and right, side to side. Hold onto your right knee, extend the left leg, take a deep breath in. Exhale, supine twist. You can send your gaze to the right, just hold here. Inhale brings you back to center. Exhale, you switch sides. Right leg extends, supine twist. Left knee melts, gaze to your left. Okay. Back to center you go. Now, ending our class with shoulder stand. Hands come by your sides. Now, if you're having troubles with your neck, just very careful with this one. If this doesn't feel good at all, just dial it back, okay? But it might actually be helpful, so let's see what happens. Hands by your sides. And then slowly press yourself into plow pose. Legs behind your body. Once you have that, then we bring hands to the low back. Elbows press onto the mat as you slowly begin to lift your legs up overhead. Now, if this is not accessible, you can just find yourself in a happy baby. Breathing into that position, engage your glutes, toes pointed up towards the sky. And here for 3, 2, And one, bend your knees towards your ears. Extend the legs, palms to the ground. And then slowly, happy baby pose. Rock from one side to the other. Find your happy baby. Curl into a little ball, forehead to knee, deep breath in. And on the exhale, we release. Final Shavasana, yogis. A few minutes of silence. I will guide us through when it's done. You can take a few more minutes, yogis. Please feel free to do so. Otherwise, we begin to find movement through fingers and toes. Arms reach overhead. Come onto your right side for fetal position. And then from here, we work our way towards the seat on our mat. Checking in on the time. Okay, let's end class today by chanting Om together 3 times. When we were in India, we met this great Sanskrit scholar and teacher of chanting. And she said that Om is the most powerful sound that we can make. And it can be very destabilizing because it's so powerful that it literally shakes the foundations of our reality. So, be that as it may, we're going to chant Om 3 times and test it for ourselves. So let's bring our hands to prayer by our heart. Take a deep breath in to prepare. And first we sigh it out. Make some noise. Ha. Let's do that again. Deep breath in. Ha. Now preparing for our chant. Chanting Om 3 times. Deep belly breath. Hands to your third eye. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all the beings in all the realms be happy, be free. And today, may our thoughts, our words, and our actions fall into perfect alignment for our collective liberation. We're gently about to give thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That is all for our class today, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Gab, and if you got value out of this, please come back and watch the next one. We'll see you soon. Ciao, ciao. Good job, y'all. Good to see you, everyone. Hold on, let me stop this recording.